Welcome back. You're with Jodi and Akheel in the semi-final of the WMCQ at Chialan's Gaming Lounge in Johannesburg, South Africa. And this is Leon on the right versus Francois on the left. Leon is currently one game ahead in the series and looking to secure um, his place in the final for a ticket to Nice in France for the World Championships.
Quite a valuable prize,
That's
that.
quite a valuable prize, but apparently he also gets no boosters in this tournament if he actually wins.
That's okay.
I think sacrificing about 30 boosters for a ticket to France is probably a good trade.
Mm.
I'd take that trade. I think Leon probably would too.
So let's see. Are both players keeping? It looks like.
Yeah, no mulligans.
Francois leads with Scry.
So same turn one for Francois as last time. And Leon, what does he have to play? He plays a turn one Mutavault.
Wow.
That'll be some nice turn two aggression if Francois doesn't manage to put any board presence down, and it doesn't look like he's going to do so.
Another land coming in tapped, scrying.
And that is one mana for
an Elvish Mystic.
Okay. That's just a nice little mana dork. What's its stat line? I can't.
It's a 1/1 that
It's a
says
1/1. Okay.
tap to add 1 green.
Okay, so it's not going to stand up to Leon's Mutavault. So he's going to
So there we go. We see the Mutavault getting sent into the red.
Mutavault. Normally a land, but you can pay 1 mana to make it a 2/2 creature with all creature types. So Leon hits the face for 2, taking Francois down to 18. So Francois once again scrying with his lands. He's getting a nice control of what he's going to be drawing. He taps his Elvish Mystic to gain 1 mana, and
I believe he might have attacked with that.
he might have attacked with that. I don't
Seeing
know.
as he didn't use it on
Yeah, seeing as he
anything.
didn't use it on anything, and he did seem to write something down. He does take Leon down to 19. But Leon summons a nice turn 3 Chandra's Phoenix, immediately hitting Francois in the face with it, taking Francois down to 16 life. So Leon already pushing the tempo against Francois' deck. Francois does manage to summon a
Polychronus. Wow. Okay, so this is a very unique creature in that it has a fight ability. For its monstrous ability, you pay X, X, and 1 green. You add that many counters to it, and it then deals that much damage to target creature, who then deals damage to its power equal back to Polychronus.
Okay.
This fight ability might actually be very relevant. It could be used to kill the Phoenix,
Yeah.
or to also kill any pyromonster, young pyromonsters that come down.
Yeah. All those very annoying Satyr fire dances that people have been struggling to beat to destroy against Leon's deck all day.
It's also nice to note that the Polychronus is a 5/5. It means it's out of range of War Leader's Helix,
Yeah.
and it's going to take at least 2 burn spells to kill.
Or he can just chain it to some rocks.
Fair enough. That is a Banishing Light.
Banishing Light. Okay.
It's like
Not a
Oblivion Ring,
Okay.
but in standard.
Oblivion Ring, the favorite of all white decks. But that's a nice answer to Polychronus coming out from Leon there, and another 2 damage taking Francois down to 14.
hmm
Francois needs to start drawing answers to that Chandra's Phoenix, otherwise it's just going to
You
keep on
see
putting
Francois Banishing Lighting the Banishing Light.
Okay, it's
Therefore
returns,
getting his Polychronus
he
back.
returns his Polychronus to play. Okay, nice little comboing of abilities there. He does attack Leon for 1, taking Leon down to
18.
18,
17? 18.
17.
17.
I think it's 17. Yeah,
Okay, 17.
it's called 17.
I so like following the judge's life point cards.
Judge's life point cards are always very
Yeah.
interesting to follow. So Leon contemplating his next turn to try deal with that Polychronus once more. As you said, it does take more than 1 burn spell to deal with.
What are the odds that he gets another Banishing Light?
Well, depending on that, Banishing Light is probably in his sideboard. It's probably not a main board card, since we haven't seen it much all day. So it'll depend on how many Banishing Lights he sideboarded in.
I would
So-
take a guess at most likely 2.
Yeah. So he's probably looking at it, 2 in about 50 chance at this point in time? 2, just sort of 50. So it's
Yeah.
1 in 25. So it's not very likely, but it
Well,
could
no, he's
happen.
already drawn 1. So 1
So-
in 50.
Yeah. Yeah, not very likely for him to draw that, and he might
On
just
the
have
other
to
hand,
burn.
he seems to be playing another sort of answer. Possibly a two-mana burn spell.
Yeah.
No, we
Oh,
see a young Pyromaster
okay.
come down.
So he's just looking to outrace, just to make sure that the Polychronus just doesn't get its effect off too many
It's
times.
important to note right now that it could fight the young Pyromaster and get two 1/1 counters placed on it.
Yeah, it could, but Francois might not want to. Um,
It would lead to a very massive swing this turn.
yeah. Instead, Francois decides to play.
Bow of Nylea.
What does
Very
that do?
unique enchantment and gives all of his attacking creatures Death Touch. For 1 colorless and 1 green, it also allows him to tap to place a 1/1 counter on target creature, or gain up to 3 life, I believe it is, or deal 2 damage to creatures with flying, very relevant against the Phoenix, or to put cards from his graveyard back underneath his library.
That's a very versatile card.
That's why it's a rare.
I'm surprised it comes in at 3 mana.
It is coming in at double green, which in a 3-color mana base, playing lots of Scrylands,
Yeah.
can sometimes be difficult.
Yeah, that's very true. So it might be even Leon can't believe the power of that card.
I think the issue here is that gain 3 life,
Yeah,
multiple activations of that will put this game out of reach.
yeah. And even just killing his Phoenix, which has been doing a lot of work in this game so far,
Is going
might-
to stall him out.
Yeah. So Leon kind of has to decide whether he wants to try deal with that. I'm not sure what in his deck would deal with that apart from maybe another Blinding Light, if that can target enchantments.
Which
Or-
would then still leave the Polychronus on the field
yeah.
to deal with.
So Leon has some very difficult decisions ahead of him, and he might just do what a burn deck decides to do and just run things at people's faces.
Okay, there we go. We see the Phoenix getting
Yeah,
again.
Phoenix getting again, taking Francois down to 12. But then
We see the Phoenix then. No, we see the Phoenix taking 2 damage, I believe, from the flying.
yes,
Did it get through? Did it not get through?
I'm not actually sure. That will maybe he only shot it down in the end step. I don't know.
Possible.
Possible maybe. Time will tell if Francois dies, when we think he dies. What is that card that he just played? That's another Corsair.
With a second Polychronus off the top.
So Leon has some bad times headed for him.
It's very important to realize that the new legendary rule allows you to play 2 legendary creatures and then choose which one you want to keep.
That's very true.
So he can monstrous the first Polychronus
Yeah.
and then play a second.
Yeah, that's a very relevant in this case.
We see the first Polychronus swinging in.
Leon might just choose to sacrifice 2 cards to get rid of it, because he has his young Pyromancer.
He does have Stoke the Flames.
Okay, Stoke the Flames, dealing 4 damage to Polychronus. But does he have more damage to kill it?
He does have the token.
He will generate a token which he can use to block.
There you go.
That's not nice, very nice efficiency of cards there. Even though he was 1 damage short from the 4 damage Stoke the Flames, he gets that extra damage from creating that token to block the Polychronus.
I think the Stoke the Flames actually went to the dome.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. From taking Francois down to 8
Okay.
and chumping the Polychronus with the token.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I think Leon has decided to just try block out the Polychronus with tokens and just rush Francois down before he can get too much of a superior overboard presence. So
We see Leon thinking very carefully. here.
thinking carefully, and importantly getting that Phoenix back from the grave because he cast a spell to Francois' dome.
We see a War Leader's Helix in hand,
So that's another 4 damage potentially.
which is very capable of also shutting down the Corsair of Kruphix and thereby shutting down the life gain.
So Leon again has to decide between rushing things down and dealing with.
We
what
can
Francois
see
has on the board.
Francois' top card, though it's not a land.
Yeah, it's not a land, so unless Francois has lands in his hand, he's not going to be gaining life from the Corsair.
I doubt that he's got a land in hand because he hadn't played it the last turn that he had.
That's true.
He is now a land behind. I don't think he would have
Yeah.
accepted that. He's
Yeah.
actually 2 lands behind.
Yeah. So Francois kind of hoping to draw into land to maybe 1 gain life and 2 continue to ramp up into hopefully bigger things.
Well, as the Corsair is showing us, he has to get past another Polychronus first.
Yeah. And
we see a skull crack
we see a
to counter the effect of bow of Nalia.
Yeah.
And deal 3 damage. That takes Francois down to 5.
Yeah, that takes Francois down to 5.
It
Very
also
vulnerable
gets
position.
another token off of the young Pyromancer.
Yeah. This young Pyromancer has been very valuable in generating those tokens. I mean, it's already chump blocked the Polychronos once, and it's probably going to do it again if Francois decides to attack.
He could activate the fight ability here.
That's true. He could activate the fight ability to get rid of either the Pyromancer or the token. Probably the Pyromancer, just to get rid of the bigger threat.
Well, remember, he can fight for 2 counters.
But instead,
if each of them has 1 toughness, he could fight them both.
Yeah. Instead, Francois decides to play
Genesis Hydra.
What does Genesis Hydra do?
When Genesis Hydra comes into the battlefield,
Yes.
its casting cost is X and green.
Okay.
So when you cast it,
Yes.
you may reveal the top X cards of your library and put a permanent into play with converted mana cost of X or less.
Yes.
In this case, X was 1.
Yeah.
And unfortunately did not reveal anything worth putting into play.
Yeah. Well, he put into
he put into play an Elvish Mystic, yes.
Yeah. But that wasn't enough to... It wasn't a very great play. Like
when he plays the next Genesis Hydra, it could be for 4.
Yeah. So that's a lot more mana potentially. Leon scrying again to see what he could get on the top of his deck, and getting out another elemental token.
Okay,
By dealing
we see him untap for his turn.
Yeah.
That was a Magma Jet.
Yeah, Magma Jet to the face for 2, so Francois is now on 3. He's in a very precarious position. 1 burn spell.
I believe we're going to see the final burn spell here.
We could see the final burn spell. Leon tapping 3 mana, 4 mana. No, 4 mana.
No,
with
he's tapping very carefully.
Tapping very carefully, and he deals.
War Leader's Helix.
War Leader's Helix to the face.
That's
Francois
dead.
has no answer.
Wait, he can still gain life, and there's the skull crack to negate the bow of Nalia.
And that is
game.
Leon managing to stay cool in the face of a very significant board from Francois there, and getting the burn damage through, and he will now be in the final, which we hope you will watch again with us. I've been Jodi, and alongside me has been
Akheel Maharaj at WMCQ at Chialan's Gaming Lounge.
And we hope you'll catch the final video in our series, which will be the final part of the Rise of Leon. Dun dun dun.